and welcome to another edition of the Lightest and Best, where we look at the lightest and best offerings from a variety of manufacturers. Today we're going to be looking at the Spartan Blades Metis. The Metis is the lightest and best offering that Spartan Blades makes, and this is a beautiful knife. I love how the anodized copper or bronze scales blend subtly with the blue backspacer clip and hinder style over travel stop. It's a beautiful knife. Spartan Blades is based out of Southern Pines, North Carolina. It was co-founded by Curtis Iovito and Mark Carey, both of which served in the Special Forces in the military. I don't know what it is, but many knife makers have served in the military. Jake Hoback, Rick Hinder, and Chris Reeve also served in the military, although in South African military. Let's talk about the specifications of the blade. The blade is an interesting shape. It is 2.75 inches long. The handle is a full 4 inches long. The total knife length is 6.75 inches, and the weight of the knife is 2.848 ounces. I have some other knives for comparison. First, we'll start with the Browse Bionic, which is a little bit larger, maybe about the same size. We have the Kaiser Flashbang, which is a little larger. We have the Rick Hinder Half Track, which I'm going to say is pretty much exactly the same size as the Metis. We have the Spyderco Dragonfly, which is a little smaller than the Metis. And we also have the Rockstead Heisen, which is a little larger than the Metis. So those are some knives for size comparison. The blade of the Metis is, as you can see, an S35 VN steel. It has a saber grind. It has some subtle jimping on the spine that gives you good traction without hurting yourself. And then on the forward part of the spine, it has a little divot to rest your thumb, which is handy whenever you're doing close work, like taking a splinter out of your finger. The method of deployment of the knife is by flipper, and it flips well, flips hard. It's not a free faller on return, but returns very easily without any problems. The handle is simply beautiful. It's an anodized titanium handle. It's got this bronze copper color. As I've mentioned, there's a light blue anodizing of the titanium backspacer clip and hinder style over travel stop. I think these colors look great together and meld very well. The pivot runs on caged bearings, and the lock bar has this hinder style over travel stop that prevents the lock bar from over traveling. It doesn't have a stainless steel lock bar insert, but there's no lock stick whatsoever when you disengage the lock. The pocket clip is a blue anodized 3D milled titanium clip. It's secured from the inside and really looks nice. It has a lot of clearance for the pant pocket also. The ergonomics on the knife is great. It has a place for your forefinger, and then your other fingers fit well. There's plenty of space for your hand, as this is a full 4-inch handle. And the ergonomics of the knife are great. Feels good in the hand. The action is super in that it flips very well and very hard, as I've mentioned. It's not a free faller. It's one that's designed to be intentional and not guillotine your finger. So what are my impressions of the Metis by Spartan Blades? I really like it. I think it's the perfect ED size. Are there opportunities for improvement? Possibly. Whenever you hold it, for the jimping, your hand feels great. If you move it up to the forward swedge area for your thumb, it feels natural that your forefinger should come up a little bit to have a natural grip. And if this part of the handle were missing, if they had cut that a little shorter, you might have sort of a finger choil area to make a more comfortable grip. Whenever you grip it back here, you can still reach into that recessed area on the spine of the blade. It just doesn't feel very natural for your hand. But what do I like about it? I love it. First of all, I think it's a beautiful knife. I love the color combination that's beautiful and subtle, the bronze scales with the light blue back spacer and clip and anodized Hinder style over travel stop. I like it also that it has this open design. Even though it's not a pillar construction, it looks like a pillar construction because you can really clean it out easily. The back spacer is so minimalistic that it functionally is an open design. And on the show side, the way that they constructed it, it's completely sterile. There's only one screw, which is the screw to the pivot, which of course is necessary. Otherwise, it's just beautiful, pure copper color, bronze color titanium. I also like how they have very few markings on it. On the show side, they have the type of steel S35EN, and on the clip side, they have the Spartan logo and made in the USA, but the handle itself has no markings whatsoever, so it's really a well done, beautiful knife. I also like it that every single Torx screw on this is a T8. You only need one Torx driver and one Torx driver bit to disassemble the body screws, the Hinder style over travel stop, and the pivot. And physical to the touch, this is one of the smoothest, best feeling knives in your hand. They polished this blade and handle to an incredibly great smoothness. It just feels great to run your hand down on. So, if you're looking for a full titanium knife that feels good in your hand and is the perfect EDC size and is aesthetically beautiful, then this knife may be for you. The Metis is Spartan Blade's lightest and best knife. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next lightest and best video.